Home invasions happen every day.
The two men walking room to room, scoping out the loot.
911 record line, where's your emergency?
My house is being robbed by two individuals. Please get somebody there right away.
April 8th, 2016, 7:30 a.m. A quiet spring morning in Fairhaven, Massachusetts is shattered by the sound of smashing glass. Within seconds, an unidentified man enters a home that is not his own.
The burglar broke in through the back door, went to the front of the house, opened the front door, and invited the second burglar into the home. Once they were inside, they started to peruse the residence, all the while being observed by the resident owner's dog.
What they don't know is that a security camera is already catching their every move. They wander about the first floor, taking their time as if they're looking for something. Their behavior is odd.
A lot of burglars, when they commit a burglary and they enter into a residence or a business, are in a frantic state of mind and being and move in a way that is commensurate with that. And then there are other ones who are brazen and don't care, and those are the ones that are potentially dangerous. The burglars were very relaxed. They moved slowly around the home, apparently completely unaware that they were on surveillance video.
They even call out to the homeowner's dog.
You want a treat? Come on. Don't get a treat. Come on.
What are they looking for? And why did they choose this particular house? Whatever it is, they haven't found it yet. So they decide to head upstairs.
In this case, one of the burglars actually goes into the daughter's bedroom.
But there's something else these two men don't know. Not only are they being recorded by a security camera, they're being watched by the homeowner himself, graphic designer Damien Gerard.
It was a Friday morning, and I had left my house with my daughter. I was bringing her to school, and then I got to work. So it was about 7:30 when I got the alert on my computer that there was activity on my cameras.
Damien works just a few miles away. After getting a security alert, he pulls up the video feed and gets a terrifying shock.
I was really mad. Just the fact that somebody's going to take someone else's personal property, but to be so nonchalant about it, like they're shopping.
You want a treat? Come on.
I'm thinking, what's he going to do? What's he going to do with my dog? Is he going to try to silence her somehow? There was a lot of thoughts were running through my head.
He immediately calls the police.
911 record line, where's your emergency?
My house is being robbed by two individuals. Please get somebody there right away.
We received a call from Mr. Gerard on a 911 system, and he told us that he was actually watching a break in progress at his residence from his video surveillance system inside his house.
You know who they are?
No, I do not. I just saw it on my security cam.
Damien gave us a play-by-play as to where the suspects were in his house as our officers were responding.
Where were they in the house?
One was walking in the front door. The other one came in from the other way.
Damien jumps in his car, and just 8.5 minutes after receiving the alert that his security camera had been activated, arrives home. The Fairhaven police and Massachusetts State Police are already waiting for him in his driveway.
I gave one of the officers the key to my house, and they unlocked the door and all ran in.
When you arrive on scene, you never really know what is going to happen or how it's going to unfold. It's a very dynamic, fluid situation. You don't know what's around the next corner. You're not exactly sure how many suspects you may be encountering, whether they're armed, what their intentions are. Entering a house in a situation like this can be very, very dangerous. You're pretty much going in blind.
Third floor, there! On your feet!
The homeowner got the alert, called the police, and then watched the whole drama play out live.
Damien Gerard had had his home broken into when he was a child, so he knew installing security cameras was a smart move. But not even he expected to watch his own home being invaded right before his eyes. After receiving an alert, Damien logs on to check his home's security cameras and gets a gut-wrenching shock. A clear view of two men burglarizing his house.
You don't expect to see a stranger in your house. Then they're, calling your dog over.
Come on, baby. You want cookie?
My heart just sank at that moment when I realized what was going on. I had said out loud, my house is being robbed. My coworkers, which the cubicle's right alongside me, both jumped up and were looking at my screen as I got up and was running out of the building, calling 911.
Where were they in the house?
One was walking in the front door, the other one came in from the other way.
As Damien rushes to meet police at his home, his colleagues are glued to the live security camera video.
And my coworkers all watched it happen live. It was like they were watching a TV show. So they were huddled around my computer the whole time.
They watch as, guns drawn, Fairhaven police officers carefully enter the house and go upstairs, unsure of exactly where the suspects are or what could happen next.
Entering a house in a situation like this can be very, very dangerous. You're pretty much going in blind.
You're on the floor now. You're on the floor now! Hands behind your back. Who else is with you?
Officer Betancourt recounted one of the suspects who was in the process of gathering up valuables from inside the residence. He ordered him to the ground, placed him in handcuffs, and took him into custody without incident.
Go get to a house. I didn't break into anything.
However, the second man has other ideas.
While he was taking him into custody, the second perpetrator jumped out the second floor window. In fact, if you watch the video, you can see the silhouette of him falling down through the window to the ground. I've been doing this for 19 years. I've seen some pretty strange things. This definitely ranks him on the top of them.
So he came out of this window, jumped down to here. They ran across the yard this way, hopped this fence, ran into this park. I was extremely angry. Your imagination just goes wild. You want revenge, you want justice.
Damien is furious. He sees red. He's so angry he chases after the fleeing robber, while the Fairhaven police close in quickly.
While it's understandable that some crime victims are so angry and overcome by emotion that they confront or pursue the perpetrator, that can be very dangerous, especially when you don't know what the perpetrator is capable of or if he's armed.
I don't know what I was gonna do if I caught him. I kept calling him told him to stop. I'm gonna kill you.
Fortunately, though, before the homeowner can catch up to the burglar, the police catch up and they arrest the second fleeing burglar.
And Damien returns to his home to assess the damage. What he finds delivers a gut punch.
They were in my daughter's room. They went through all her stuff, her jewelry, everything. They had taken a pillowcase and they were putting everything in it. So they had my daughter's piggy bank in there. They had a change jar from my son's room. I don't know. I don't understand how they can go into a room that's obviously a little girl's room, and start ransacking it, taking her piggy bank, taking an 11-year-old girl's piggy bank. It kind of makes you wonder. She's a pretty tough kid. She definitely felt funny here for the first few weeks afterwards, especially where they were in her room. It makes me sad that there's people in the world like that, and it can happen anywhere.
28-year-old Brian Chandanias was the burglar arrested in the home. 29-year-old Jay Birch was arrested after police caught up with him.
They were both charged with breaking and entering the daytime to commit a felony, possession of burglarious instruments, and 2 counts of vandalism.
If I could have asked them one thing, why my house? It's not flashy, it's just a regular place. As a matter of fact, at that time, the house next door to me belonged to a Fairhaven police sergeant. I think if they were watching, they probably wouldn't have picked it, just knowing I have a couple of neighbors that work in law enforcement.
And it turns out the break-in may have been a case of mistaken identity.
It seemed like it was just like a smash and grab, but the Fairhaven police seemed to think that they had the wrong house targeted. I think they believed they were breaking in somewhere else.
They obviously broke into the wrong house because they chose the house that had the video surveillance system, which ultimately got them convicted.
And most important of all, Damien's beloved pets are safe and sound.
We really love our pets here. That was like my biggest concern.
Chloe, you okay?
Yes.
This is Chloe. Boy, the wonder dog, guide dog extraordinaire.
It's June 6th, 2016, when this quiet home in Austin, Texas becomes the latest addition to the more than 1 million homes burglarized every year in the United States.
He was captured on camera walking from room to room, speeding up as the alarm system kicked on.
We see the burglar going about his business pretty much unfazed by the fact that their alarm is going off, and didn't seem to be particularly bothered, certainly by household pets. He is on a mission to get whatever stuff he can and get the heck out of there.
If you didn't know the context of the video, you would think this is this guy's house. He's looking for something, he lost his keys. He just seems so at ease and so comfortable.
With the children in daycare and their parents at work, no one is home but the family dog to watch as the audacious intruder rifles through drawers and countertops before finally making his getaway with pockets full of stolen goods.
He's not fussing around. He's looking for small, valuable objects. He's not going to get caught with a TV in his hand. He's very strategic with how he's stealing.
The invasion of a family's most personal space is traumatizing.
Home is where you're safe. It's where your children go to bed. So the thought of this stranger rummaging through your bedroom is extremely alarming.
People feel a sense of that they've been violated with a crime like this. As a matter of fact, there's some people who wind up moving from their homes because they just can't get over the fact that someone's been in their house.
And for homeowners Megan and Nathan Zellner, the break-in is especially painful.
Our son was born in that house, and so it's a very special place.
You feel that violation, but you also feel that lack of control. Like your house should be the one place that you have the most control over.
It's an experience made all the more traumatic as the Zellners watch it unfold in real time on their security camera's cell phone app.
Megan calls me up and she said that the alarm company called and the back door had tripped off. And I pulled up my phone and it had the camera web app on it, and here the alarm going off, and sure enough, there's a guy walking around in our kitchen. And it was like, you have that sense of dread of like, oh no, somebody's in my house. Could see him go over and try to fiddle with the code as if he could somehow turn it off. And then he disappears for about a minute, almost 2 minutes down the hallway, and reappears. I was really worried that my computer would be stolen.
As their alarm company alerts the police, the Zellners race home. Nathan is more than 20 minutes away, but Megan is right around the corner.
As soon as I saw the alarm company calling, I'm already grabbing my purse and my keys to leave. And so within probably 3 or 4 minutes, I pulled up. I didn't want to park right outside in case there was someone there. So I parked down the street and waited, and my adrenaline was just pumping. Like, you want to go in, you want to see, and there's part of you that is itching for a confrontation at that point. I thought for sure I would see a car or somebody leaving the house, and I sat there for what felt like an eternity.
From her spot down the street, there's no way for Megan to know if the burglar is still inside or how dangerous he might be.
Who knows what he has on him? Who knows if he has like a weapon? And what if someone walked in on him? He could have, retaliated.
The minutes tick away as Megan waits for the police. And once they arrive, what the Zellners learn about this burglar will send a ripple of terror through their entire community. As a midday burglary is underway at her North Austin home, Megan Zellner waits anxiously for the police just down the street from her front door.
You don't want to go into your house as much as your instincts may be telling you to do that, but for someone knowing that someone's in your house who doesn't belong there, it's going to feel like forever.
Minutes later, the police and Megan's husband, Nathan, both arrive at the scene. The officers conduct a sweep of the property, but the thief has already taken off.
He had long gone by that point, so we were able to assess.
When the police and Megan and I went into the backyard, the back door, like the frame was all shattered, the wood was all broke. There's just something about seeing your house in that condition that was just like, oh, this is pretty sad.
He went to where he thought he could get the most bang for his buck. And so he went through our top dresser drawers. And I had a jewelry roll in one of those top drawers, mostly costume jewelry from each of my grandmothers. And then he did grab my watch, but I think that's it. He was in and out very quickly.
But the Zellners aren't going to take this theft lying down.
We had the video and we sent that to the detective. And what we did that evening was post the video online. And there was instant feedback. People started connecting some dots.
As the Zellners' video spreads on social media and through the local news, more photos and more stories come to light, connecting this shameless thief to at least 2 other home invasions over the last month.
Different homeowner just a few miles away says the same man also burglarized his home.
He broke into a house down near San Antonio and was kind of working his way up I-35. Then somebody had posted that earlier in the same day, they confronted an individual coming out from the backyard of their house.
And I said, you know, what are you doing at my house? And he goes, somebody was crying in your yard and the dog was barking. And of course I called BS on that and he got really mad.
It was a real confrontation that started getting a shouting match, and the guy who came out of the backyard got in his truck and tried to run him over or backed out of the driveway really fast.
At this point, the upset burglar jumped into his white SUV, rammed it into Bugmaster's truck, and peeled out of his front lawn, nearly hitting the homeowner.
It felt like, wow, we kind of got it off easy.
And the more the Zellners learn, the more they discover just how lucky they really were.
Come to find out that this burglar, only a couple of hours earlier, had stolen a firearm.
You see where things could have gone much worse, and we were very lucky that he was already gone by the time Megan got home.
But this criminal's compulsive behavior is about to become his undoing.
They caught him the next day. I think they found him sleeping in his car.
Yeah, with a bunch of stolen driver's licenses.
Yeah, something weird like that. When they caught him, it was then very easy to connect the dots to the 2 other crimes in the neighborhood.
The burglar is quickly identified as 32-year-old Randall Lee Laster, a known felon with burglary and robbery charges stretching back to 2002.
People started learning a little bit more about him, and we kind of were like, took him back. He kept making bad decisions after bad decisions, and we were just a blip on his bad decision train.
Laster is charged with unlawful possession of a firearm and 2 counts of burglary of a habitation. He is convicted on all charges and sentenced to 15 years in prison. Being able to share their video and their experience online has done more for the Zellners than just help catch the culprit.
The neighborhood kind of grouped together and put together the evidence that eventually tied him to the crimes and led to his conviction. But for us, it was more of like taking control over a situation that felt pretty violating, getting that community involvement and reassurance. I think it helped us sleep at night. Instead of being scared of where we live,